Good morning, kids. It is Thursday, May 21st, 2026. And I want to start my gratitude list today. Like I talked about yesterday, busy little stretch I'm in, right? I got a new had Warrior Red last night. It's actually really awesome. A friend came out to say hi, join me in the volunteering deal with the special needs folks. So that was really cool. Made it really fun. I got all excited when I saw them walk in. Then today I got a new resident coming in about 45 minutes. And then tomorrow, Saturday, I got, it's called Gopher State. It's a big state convention. Gonna be about 10,000 people there talking about sobriety. You get to see a bunch of friends there. That'll be really cool. But I wanted to reflect on my gratitude list. And I don't know if I may have mentioned it before, but I actually have a physical on my laptop, a list. It's a file, an Excel sheet. It's got 44 names. And I've previously talked about a few of those names before. I may have made a little video mentioning, let's see here, let me pull it up. I've mentioned before to you kids names like Nick Ron, Coach Fabio, Jiu-Jitsu coach, guy named Paul Davis, Project Got Your Back, guy named Larry Wall, I lived with him for about 4 or 5 months. He let me live in his basement. But I want to go down this list. I want to talk about some more. I think I've got 44 names in this list. So this is the kickoff of what will maybe be a daily thing for a stretch here, where I'm just going to focus on another person. And this time, I'm going to talk about Tim Murray, because Tim is a big freaking deal. Just ask him, he'll tell you he's a big deal. He has a very healthy ego. And he would be so heartbroken, devastated if he found out I made a gratitude list for you kids and I didn't include him near the top. So this guy named Tim, I met him in December of 2024. So almost a year and a half ago, right about a year and a half ago. And at that time, I knew I was going to be unable to pay my rent at my apartment I was at in Eagan. And I knew it was about 2 weeks before Christmas. 2 weeks before the end of the year, actually. So about a week before Christmas. And somebody told me you should check out Bravo Zulu House. So I looked up Bravo Zulu House on the internet, and something about veteran housing, something that effect in Minnesota. Okay. So I sent him a inquire here thing or whatever, sent him a little email saying I'm interested in hearing more. And then this guy called me. He said his name was Tim or something. I don't know. I was not in a clear frame of mind. And first thing he asked me was about my relationship with alcohol. And for whatever reason, I was completely honest with him. I told him, I've been drinking daily. I've been trying to stop. I've been working with the VA, doing this thing called Smart Recovery. And I haven't been able to. It hasn't worked for me. I still can't avoid drinking alcohol every day. It had become a problem. I was using it to fill that hole in my heart that was created when I lost you guys, when I couldn't see you kids every day. Had a massive sucking chest wound that's filling it with alcohol. So Tim says, well, Bravo Zulu House doesn't open for about 6 months yet, but you should come to this meeting tomorrow. So he gave me the info, and I said, all right. And again, for some reason, I don't know why, just a little nudge from God, maybe. So the only thing I can attribute it to is I showed up 7 a.m. for that meeting, and I was amazed. It's the first time I ever walked into what was called Alcoholics Anonymous. It's an Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. I knew nothing about it. TV and movies a little bit here and there. I thought it was I thought those meetings were like in church basements, smoky church basements, a bunch of guys complaining about how miserable they are. I didn't know what to expect. There's a meeting of like 90 guys, and I just listened, and they made me introduce myself and say, "Hi, I'm Ryan. I'm an alcoholic. I don't know what I'm doing here, but it's nice to meet all you guys." And that started a path that got me to where I am today. Along the way, so not only did Tim introduce me to a group of men that changed my life, I called him afterwards, and he says, "What do you think?" I'm like, "That was insane." He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, Ryan, I would suggest you get a big book. And give me a call when you got one." So I went on Amazon, looked up the word big book, ordered it like a good soldier, and 2 days later, kept going back to that meeting, because at that meeting they said, "Keep coming back." Okay. You guys know better than me. My life's a mess. I can't see my kids. I got this big hole in my chest. Drinking every day. I'm miserable. I'm dying inside. They said, "Keep coming back." So I went back the next day. And I went back the next day. And that time, my big book showed up in the mail. So I took a picture and I sent it to Tim. I said, "Got the book. What next?" And he says, "All right, read these pages and give me a call." So I read through the pages he told me, gave him a call. We talked about it. And then, in hindsight, he took me through a couple of the 12 steps. Took me through step 1 and 2. Without me even realizing what they were really at the time. And a couple days later, so I kept going to the meetings and kept reading the book. And a couple days later, I called him and I'm like, "What's this thing I keep hearing about, sponsor? Everybody says get a sponsor. How's that work? Is there like an app for that? Is it like dating where like you ask somebody out, or like, how's this work?" And Tim tells me, "I want you to, you know what? Hold on, let me call you back, Ryan. Give me 10 minutes." And Tim has proven to me that he's a man of his word. If he says something, he does it. He does it. So he calls me back 10 minutes later and says, "There's this guy named Ryan as well. Here's his number. You should give him a call." So I called that guy. I've been working with that guy. That's the guy who took me through the 12 steps. Fast forward a bit, I've had the chance to learn from Tim a lot along the way. See him every morning in that men's support group meeting. And after living with Larry for a couple of months, I ended up moving into a house that Tim runs up in St. Paul. I was there for about 5-6 months until one day Tim calls me and says, "Hey Ryan, I have an opportunity for you if you're interested." And that's when he recruited me to come down here to Bravo Zulu House and be the house manager. I have the privilege of learning from Tim every day. And the wild thing about a guy like Tim is, if you meet him, he's a big frickin' deal. Comes across a little bit arrogant, comes across a little bit cocky, comes across like a bit of a smartass. But here's the thing about Tim. He knows what he's talking about. He is that way because he's been working with people in recovery for 15 years. He runs 3 sober houses up in the Twin Cities. And he runs the one down here, runs Bravo Zulu House. He's my boss. As the house manager, well, he's the executive director. So he's got a board of directors that he reports to. I report to him. So technically he's my boss. Even though this is really all just kind of fun and for free. We just do it because it's the right thing to do. It's not like it's a job where, I can pay the bills with this, I just get to live here for free, right? That's really the payment part of it. But along the way, Tim he knows the book inside and out. He's worked with guys in recovery for 15 years. He is a guy who leads from the front. He's not a veteran, but he'll come down here to Bravo Zulu, and he'll be out on a tractor, moving dirt around for hours and hours. He doesn't ever do anything. He doesn't ever ask somebody to do something that he hasn't done or isn't willing to do himself. But along the way, he's a vicious truth teller. He will say it like it is. And sometimes, That hurts. It hurts to hear. And a lot of times I'll just go, "Oh, Tim, you told me what? Ouch! That hurts my ego. That I don't like to hear that. That sounds mean." Then I'll pause for a second and be like, "But dang it, Tim, you're right. I think the fact you're right about that, Tim, is what really hurts." And he's one of the 6 people in my life today that if I have to make a big decision, I talk to him first about it. Because I trust that he will not just tell me something to make me feel happy. He will tell me the truth, which is what I need to hear. Even if it's something I don't want to hear. Even if it's something that hurts my feelings. And he's one of the very few men in that circle of trust, those 6, that will consult on any life decision, any decision I have to make. And I can look back at the last 18 months and say definitively that from the moment I met him, I whatever he told me to do, whatever he suggested, I did it. And my life has gotten incredibly better. Thanks to Tim, I've developed this relationship with God. Thanks to Tim, yes, it's part of the reason I get to see you kids every 2 weeks. If not for Tim, I very likely would be dead by now, because of the way that I was not dealing with in a healthy way what I felt like was the loss of you kids. So he's an older guy. He's 67. I think he's probably gonna be around for another 10 years. Pretty sure he will be. He doesn't stop. He's got a motor that doesn't stop. But I want you kids to know the name Tim Murray, because he absolutely turned my life around, showed me this new path, this new way of living, and he's an incredible mentor, somebody I admire, respect immensely. And I hope that you kids someday will get a chance to meet him. So, anyhow, tune in tomorrow, kids. Check the next video. I'll talk to you about another person who's on my gratitude list, has played a major role in the reason why I get to be your dad still today. Love you, kids.